There's dirt and debris down in there, all sorts of other stuff, and these seals are probably 25 years old. So we got Vaseline right here for its pleasure, and we're gonna get this harness out of the way, then work on getting this rail out. Had to find the coffee mug that I forget everywhere. So if I had to find my coffee mug, where is the coffee? Well, I'm glad you asked. I transported it in this glass jar, and in case you were wondering, these glass jars is a terrible caffeine transportation receptacle. It gets really hot, but I guess it does give it a chance to cool down. So now we shall make the transfer. Beautiful. We got this 2000 Mazda Protege in here. We'll talk about this guy in a second, kind of interesting. Just gonna be some customer car stuff today, you guys. We are working on the next video for the Mazda B2000, and it'll be explained in that video, but very frustrating. Had some memory card issues, some audio issues, and some issues with parts on the truck, so it's taking a little longer. So I figured today we'll just kind of show you what we got going on in this part of the business world, which is working on the customer cars. So Mazda Protege over here, and we got an Equinox outside that we also have to look at today. All right, so the Mazda Protege with the 1.8 liter 4-cylinder. This vehicle was previously at another shop. So this vehicle was previously somewhere else that I'm not going to mention, and they had this injector right here replaced, right? So they had this injector replaced, and then it was still running like crap, like absolute garbage, and they suggested doing the plugs and wires. Customer had already done the plugs, didn't do the wires, and then was kind of frustrated with the shop. So yeah, that's how we came here. So he brought it here, went for a test drive, and it was, you know, check engine light flashing, missing so bad it couldn't get out of its own way. We get out of the vehicle, I'm like, I can smell gas, so I wanted to look. Upon further inspection, you can see our shiny new fuel damper here, and this guy just bolts right into the fuel rail. So there's like a nut down here, and this thing was just spraying gas all over the place. I'm like, well, we definitely need to get that replaced. The wires looked old, so we replaced the wires, and we'll talk about why I got them marked in a second here. But it's just, you know, this is kind of frustrating. Rail goes from here, obviously one end, other end has that fuel damper on it. You had this apart to replace this fuel injector, and then you couldn't tell me that this thing was pissing gas everywhere and you didn't notice it. So we replaced that, and we replaced these plug wires. Thing ran a lot better, but still had a misfire. So then I looked, misfire on cylinder 3. So the first thing I did, take all the plugs out, check them, did a compression test thinking, you know, do we have a burnt valve? Is there something like that going on? Compression checked out good across the board. So then we come to this coil, and you got 2 plug wires per coil, right? So I took this little bracket apart, swapped them, misfire stayed on cylinder 3. So I'm like, okay, what's going on here? I pull it in again. This is yesterday. I was trying to get ahead working on Sunday, and you can see that fuel injector that's disconnected right there. If I listened really closely to that fuel injector and looked really closely down along the base of it, you could see kind of where that seal is down in there. It was bleeding off fuel. So my guess is when they took this rail apart to replace that injector, they didn't clean up any of the seals. There's some dirt and crap on there, or the seal was old, original, dry rotted. They shoved it back down, sent them on their way. So we have an injector O-ring seal kit on the way for this one, and we got a Chevy Equinox outside that we need to go scan and see what's going on there. This is the bumper for the Mazda project that is frustrating us. So it is currently in a citric acid soak. You can see it's doing its thing on the rust down there. If I pull this out, you can see right there that it is eating the rust away slowly. This is day 2. All right, so Equinox, we got codes for both of the exhaust and intake camshaft solenoids. So we come out here, and it's very uncommon to have, you know, codes for both and have these guys actually be the issue. I've seen these guys have super high resistance. I've seen them have metal shavings on them, whatever. They were both, had the exact same resistance value. I do need to go look up a spec for that, but I'm almost wondering if the chain has slack in it. You know, it could be a million things. Checked oil. These things are notorious for burning oil. So oil level's okay. It did recently have an oil change. We need to get a little more information and then possibly pull off this valve cover, but we'll see. We're going to check the spec and make sure everything was okay there. Alright, so we're back to the Mazda here, and what we're gonna have to do, get these injectors disconnected. Oh, and everything in here, you guys, is so crusty, just because, you know, age of vehicle. Like right now I'm trying to get these injectors disconnected and they don't want to cooperate. There's one, and that's on that new one they installed, so that makes sense. Sometimes you push down a little, then you push the tab. Oh, and you have a little better luck getting those off of there. One more here. Oh, come on. There it goes. Get this harness out of our way. What else does this connect to? Good God. Those are good. We're going to put a fuel pressure regulator in as well, just as long as we're in here. So this guy right here is a fuel damper, so this is not your regulator. Your regulator is actually here. And we have to disconnect this, vacuum activated, but we have to disconnect this anyway to get this rail out of here. I kind of want to get this all the way out of my way. Holy moly, guys. Yeah, this does not want to come apart. Even just these harnesses, you know, this is an older car, it's a 2000, and the fact that all this stuff is coming apart this hard is exactly what I think the issue is here. They replaced that one fuel injector. Well, if these connectors are this goofed up on this thing, you know, all crusty and locked together, can you imagine what those O-rings on that rail are like? So my guess is, you know, no excuse for not replacing this if it was leaking. You had this rail out, but if they replaced that injector and they didn't check the condition of the gaskets on the rest of them. Great time for the camera to die. What I was saying though is, you know, if all these injector seals are original, which I assume they are, they just slammed this injector in here. There's dirt and debris down in there, all sorts of other stuff, and these seals are probably 25 years old. So we got Vaseline right here for its pleasure, and we're gonna get this harness out of the way, then work on getting this rail out. There. Tuck that up under the wiper like that. Now that's mostly out of our way. And those look like 12s. Then on these fuel lines, just squeeze these tabs, push it forward, pull it back. There's one, and then there's one down here by the damper. Get this out of my way. There's that guy there, and that injector was leaking, so it bled off all the fuel pressure, which is good, you know, because now we didn't make a mess. That guy wasn't even tight. Interesting. There's 4 12s holding this rail down. That one was tight. And that's something, you should check the torque specs on these because it's literally holding those injectors in place. So make sure that these are torqued properly when you go back together. This one wasn't even tight. And then on the bottoms here, I don't know if you can see, this is one bolt here, one here, one here, and here. There's some plastic spacers down in here on this bolt, so when you take these out, make sure you don't drop those or lose them. But we'll get this off of here, we'll get our new gaskets on, then hopefully we don't have any fuel leaks anymore, and that takes care of that misfire that we had. Come right out just like that. These are those little plastic spacers. Make sure you don't lose those. I'm going to put them up with the bolts. 2 of the gaskets stayed down in there. You got to be careful of that. Get those out. And they feel crusty. There's one. Yeah, that thing is rock hard. This one here is from the injector they replaced at the previous shop, but we got to get this out. We're going to have to make a call to the parts store because that's what they sent us. And if you look on these injectors, that's clearly not the right gasket. There's the injector they replaced, and this is the gasket that was there. That guy is, they did not replace that. Look at that. Plastic chunks coming off of it. So they didn't get a new gasket for that, and these are all rock hard. So this is the one that was leaking here, and I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up, but this is the reason we took this apart, because this cylinder was leaking. It's the cylinder we had a misfire on, so there's actually a hairline crack on this gasket here, and yeah, that would obviously cause a leak, and you can tell that when they replaced this injector here, they didn't replace any of these gaskets, and clearly they're, you know, have seen better days. So make a call to the parts store, see if we can get the right ones. So great news, the injector seals that we need have to come from a town over. It's 11 o'clock right now, and they're estimated to be here at about 4:30. So yeah, that is absolutely fantastic. On one hand, I'm glad we can at least get them today and somebody can get them to me, but on the other hand, it's 11, they won't be here until 4:30, and this is our only stall. So I mean, I could push it outside, it's just me, I could do that. Or we're working on the Equinox outside, so that's just the reality of it. The Equinox, we tested both of those solenoids, and ProDemand specifies that if you're between 8 and 13 ohms of resistance, those test out good, and we were at about 12 ohms on both of those. It's very uncommon for both of those solenoids to fail at the exact same time. It's just that already gave me the clue that that's probably not the issue. Next step on there is we're gonna have to pull the valve cover off of that one and inspect the timing chain and tensioner and see if we got some slop going on there. So, do we push this outside and then drive the other one in, or do we just do it out there? Small shop problems. Alright, you guys are going to have to bear with me here. I'm going to try. I don't know if this is going to work. It might not. But if we look down there, I can grab both sides of this guide, and the top is snapped off. So that's our issue right now. I'll try. I don't think it's going to work, but I'll try to show you. There's no way that's going to happen. You can kind of see it right there, but I can reach under there. That guide is completely, the plastic snapped off the top. We did get the death scoots out though. I should see if our lovely shop neighbor over there wants to race for pinks. Alright, so we're back to the Protege now. I got one injector out. What we're going to do, this is the one that was replaced by that other shop. We're going to put the new regulator on there. We got the fuel damper that was spraying fuel everywhere we talked about. But they just slammed this thing back together and didn't have any new gaskets. Obviously, this probably came with some, but the bottom one was super dry rotted, so I don't know if they just didn't use the new one, didn't come with it. I don't have the full story. So if we take a look right here, these are all the gaskets to reseal one of these injectors. This little red guy goes up top, and then this little kind of sleeve looking guy goes here, and then this one that looks kind of corrugated, it's got plastic and rubber in the middle. This guy is going to go right on the end down here. So these actually didn't show up. They came from the next town over. We're supposed to be here at 4:30 last night. Showed up this morning at about 9 o'clock. So a little bit behind on this one. I got some Vaseline. We're going to lube everything up real nice, put this back together, and then hope that that takes care of our misfire that was happening on this cylinder. There's a crack in this guy here, and it was spraying gas everywhere. So hopefully this takes care of that. We'll set it up, get the stuff on there, and get rolling. It's our new pressure regulator. Get a little Vaseline on this O-ring. Just make stuff go back together easier. Just a little bit of schmoo. Go crazy tight, they're 10s. I like to take the vacuum, make sure everything's nice and clean. We don't have any crud in there. This being port injection, you don't have to be as careful, but you should still be careful. I'm going to take this pick, get some of this crap out of here. You go to seat this injector in here, all this sand and stuff. It's probably part of the reason it was leaking, so get it broken loose with this pick, and then we'll come back through with the vacuum. Do it one more time. Just make sure that all this sandy crap is out of there. We don't need to try to be sealing against that. So do a thorough job, take your time, or you have to do it again. And you know what they say, like, if you don't have time to do it right, when are you going to have time to do it over? And unfortunately, in this customer's case, first shop didn't do it right, so now they're paying me to do it over. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, but I hate to see it. I mean, I'm glad for the business, but hate that for the customer. Alright, so we are back to the Mazda, and you can see we got our fuel rail out again. I'm getting real sick of this thing. So anyway, we went through, we got all the injectors resealed, didn't have any gas leak. The number 3 cylinder here is where we were having that miss, and this is the one that was seeping out along this gasket here. So we resealed all 4 injectors, and normally 2 blue are here, 2 brown are over here. Well, I ended up driving it, had that miss still on cylinder 3, and I was like, we have good spark plugs, we have good spark, we have new spark plug wires, we have compression. What's going on here? So the previous shop that this customer got frustrated with and ended up leaving replaced this injector. It was on cylinder 2, and I ended up swapping these 2 around. That's why there's a blue over here and not here. The miss followed to cylinder 2, so we ended up needing a second injector, so that's what we're putting in right now. There we go. It's running much better now. Don't have any fuel leaking out anywhere. Some shiny parts. This thing was stumbling so bad. Now it's idling nice, we're good to go. So that's where we're at, guys. We got that Equinox, a timing set is on the way for that, so we're gonna schedule that for end of next week, because obviously that wasn't something we could fit into that same day schedule. We didn't know what was going on with the vehicle before it came in. It's an Equinox, so I kind of had an idea, but I digress. As far as that Mazda goes, you guys, I like to just bring you along on some of these repairs and customer experiences, and it was really a shame to me. This thing, relatively simple 4-cylinder, and there's a lot of bad shops out there, and I don't necessarily mean that the guy doesn't know what he's doing. That obviously can be part of it, but what I'm saying is, like in this instance, that fuel damper spraying gas everywhere. Clearly the whole rail had to come off to put that injector in, and then you just kind of, did you not see that? Because I was driving the car and it's shaking, couldn't get out of its own way, and I can smell the gas coming out of there. And then we just ended up with a plethora of other issues. This customer spent over $500 at that shop before they brought it to us, and it's like, I feel bad about that. Are you gonna take my receipt, go back and try to, I don't know, you know, that's not my deal. My job was to get the car running. Customer was happy, texted me last night, was like, hey, purred like a kitten all the way home, runs beautifully, thank you so much. And it's like, yeah, no problem, but it's unfortunate that this repair had to get to that point. He brought this car in not running well. The communication was terrible. I saw the invoice, there was no story, and I don't care where you work, a dealership, an independent, for yourself, the heart of your repair is in writing the story on the paperwork for the customer, so they know what you checked, so they know what you did, so they know where their money is going. You have to write a good story on your RO, and there was nothing for me to go off of on there. We ended up doing the compression check, we checked the coils, we did all sorts of stuff, and ended up eventually putting that other injector in along with the set of plug wires. So I don't like the fact that that customer had to pay twice, but in this video, I just wanted to take you along and show you some of the stuff that comes in the shop. So that's what I had for you guys in today's video. If you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Drop me a comment down below. Drop a like up on this video, helps me out with the algorithm, all that other good stuff. We'll be back to you with a Mazda update really soon. B2000 chugging along, ran into a few other minor issues, so we'll get back to it, and hopefully pretty soon we have a really awesome mini truck to take to the shows. Thank you guys for watching the video, and as always, we'll see you next time.